AEV releases some new packages for your brand new Wrangler, Mopar drops a couple new parts, and what's going on with the 2024 Gladiator, plus a little bit more into the future here at Dirt Road CRED. Let's get right into it today. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. You know, here at Dirt Road CRED, we're always updating the latest and greatest news, what's coming out on the back end, and as you can see behind me, we do have a brand new Jeep in the fleet. So we're going to get into a little bit of everything today. But first and foremost, we just got back from the Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion. We're back a day or two now, and I wanted to go over a couple things that we saw from AEV. Not only did we chat with Charlie at AEV, they had a booth down there set up, but we also got to see some things on the forums as well as on the back end. Now, AEV, if you don't know, has been producing high quality Jeep parts since the late 90s, and throughout their entire career or inception, they have been creating top-notch products. I mean, their bumpers, their lift kits, their wheels, everything that they've designed meets federal vehicle manufacturer safety standards. It's tested, it's used from stock components, and if you guys remember in the JK days, you could actually order the Call of Duty editions or the Moab editions, which included AEV front and rear bumpers. So to say that they've been involved with Jeep is an understatement. They are completely connected with them, and in fact, when we were able to order the 20th anniversary Rubicon 392, you could option for the AEV Level 2 setup, which gave you 37-inch tires, AEV wheels, front and rear bumpers, and a host of other options. Now, what they've just released is actually something that's pretty neat. Charlie kind of just dropped it on us, and apparently it was available on the back end, but he went and said you're now able to option out your brand new Jeep Wrangler with an AEV package directly from the factory. So you don't need to wait and get the Jeep from AEV, come to the dealer, get back to AEV, and then come to you. They've streamlined that process and created 3 different packages that you can now upfit onto your Willys or your Rubicon Jeep Wrangler. Now, I think this is a great idea, and in fact, I think cutting out the middleman and cutting out the whole traveling 18 times back and forth really makes getting that Jeep a lot faster. Now, what's cool about this too is that you not only get the factory warranty, but then you get AEV's warranty on all the products. Now, what I'm seeing on the back end is a couple different options. You have 3 different levels, which is kind of ironic because the highest level is not named level 3. So you've got the upfitter package, which you can option onto your Jeep, which includes the 2-inch suspension lift, AEV Pintler wheels, as well as a host of other options from AEV. That's around the $7,000 mark, and I would say it's going to get your Jeep nicely lifted right from the factory, and instead of adding the Extreme Recon, maybe you want to go with this package to get AEV's full setup. The next one is the Upfitter Plus, which is everything that's in the original Upfitter package, plus a couple more tidbits. You're going to get a front bumper, you're going to get a skid plate, and a couple more additional items onto that. The last and the highest level is the AEV Level 2. That's why I said it's kind of ironic because there's 3 levels. The AEV Level 2, which you guys are all familiar with the 20th anniversary edition, it is going to be very, very similar to that setup. So we're talking front and rear bumpers, Warn Xeon winch, the 37-inch tires, your choice of AEV wheel, a full suspension system with the now partnered Bilstein shocks, which give you an absolutely incredible ride. And with that one, you are going to get the AEV Level 2 package on the outside, a little bit more on the interior. However, it doesn't look like the full leather upgrade, but I'd imagine with this one, they're either going to be standalone options where you can pick one of these packages and upgrade it to your Jeep, or maybe you can adjust it a little bit. I'm not sure what AEV is going to do with that. I know they were talking about doing a streamlined kind of product choice, and by adding custom options and changing this wheel for that wheel or adding this interior, it's going to kind of slow down the process. So I'd say that they're probably going to have these packages. You'll be able to choose them and then just add them onto your Jeep. Now, we're planning on going out to AEV's open house in September if we can make it. If so, you guys know we did a crazy good review last year when we went there. We're definitely going to ask him about this and see kind of the more in-depth functionalities of it. If you guys are looking to order one of those, the great thing is Dan Cummins, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, who we're partnered with, is an AEV authorized dealer. So you'll be able to order these packages with Dan Cummins through our affiliate program. So simply go on our website, enter your information, and pop that through. Now, we got to see Lindsay, we got to meet with Tony while we were down in Kentucky and in Tennessee, and you guys have been doing an absolutely phenomenal job in contact with them, getting great Jeeps ordered at a great price, and we're super happy to be partnered up with them. But just a side note, they are an AEV dealer. The second thing I wanted to talk about in today's video, so we talked about the AEV, kind of went on to all those packages. Mopar did release a brand new lift kit, or a revised version of the lift kit for the JL and the Gladiator. Now, what I think is neat about this kit is instead of using the Fox 2.5 shocks, they've actually gone to a Bilstein 2-inch remote reservoir shock. What's neat about that is that if you are using your Jeep for higher speed applications, you're going over whoops, and you have or are experiencing shock fade, which is basically the oil inside your shock is heating up and you're not using the proper valving and it's not able to give you the right dampening to that shock. The Bilstein remote reservoir gives the reservoir about 2 feet or 1.5 feet away from the front shock, which means in that distance of the actual fluid and oil going back and forth from the shock to the reservoir, it's able to cool off and give you a higher volume of fluid, meaning your shocks are going to stay cooler, you won't see shock fade, and it'll give you a much more adjustable ride on the road. Now, I think this was a big change from the Fox shocks. I actually was a big fan of them. They were a 2.5-inch aluminum body shock that I thought was great with the Mopar Lift, but as I'm seeing more and more people are going to the reservoir shocks, and in fact, I've almost been looking at some Fox 2.5s to maybe potentially throw on my Jeep back behind us here, just to get a little bit more adjustability for that on-road daily driving that we do, which we travel all over the country, versus the off-road driving. So pretty neat though to see that Mopar has updated it. They haven't just let this one sit and rot on the shelves. They've given us a brand new Mopar 2-inch lift. Same other components like your lower control arms, springs, all your other sway bar links and all that. Just upgraded shocks on there. And you're still going to get the jumbo crate, which then you can use in your man cave or maybe your living room if your wife lets you. And I would say that with Ryan's 2024 sitting behind us, we're going to start to see a lot more. I know him and I were already searching for products for his Jeep. The biggest thing we can't find is a screen protector right now. That's already hard to find for the 12.3-inch. So hopefully sooner than later, those are going to start to drop. So that way you guys with 24s can start to get protected. Now, speaking of 2024, the big elephant in the room also, which we've kind of nailed the last nail in the coffin with, is the 2023 Gladiator. Why it's not selling? It's so discounted. They're giving up to like $6,000 or $7,000 off some of the Rubicons on those. And when is the 2024 coming? Now, obviously, there's a lot of rumors going around about different engines, about different updates to the 24 Gladiator. Heck, we talked about some patents a few months ago with some splittable tops that you could actually fit in the bed. But what I want to know from you guys is, when do you think it's dropping? There's been rumors of October, maybe even as early as next month. We don't know exactly when it's going to come out, but from what the rumors are and some of the spy shots we got to see, is it's going to have the redesigned front grille. It's going to have the redesigned interior, which makes sense. But what else do you think we're going to see with it? I know on the 24, we saw much more simplicity when it comes to ordering. You can't get the Rubicon with painted flares and all this extra add-ons. You can only get it on the X. You can only get the Sport in certain interior configurations. They've reduced the complexity to help with the ordering process and hopefully streamline some more of these. I think the same might happen for the Gladiator, and I'll be honest with you guys, I'm a frequent kind of visitor on the Gladiator forum. The guys on there really want to see a refresh. I know everyone likes their Jeeps and their Gladiators, but they've got to stay relevant and they've really got to do something to kind of stand out a bit. So that's more to come on the Gladiator, but we don't know exactly what's happening. Hopefully someone surprises us soon and we can get you some content as soon as possible. Big trip, we just finished up. We were down at Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion and we had an absolute blast meeting with all you guys. If you didn't have a chance to check out picking up Ryan's two-door and the event overview, make sure you stay around on the channel. Those videos already went out, so go back and watch them. We had a ton of good time there. And we got to meet with all of our friends. So America's Most Wanted, Bullet Point. We had our Jeep at the Distinction Applied booth on the outside. Diodynamics was there. Really a host of all of our friends and some new vendors that we got to meet. So we've got a lot of big installs coming up. And in fact, we've already got some parts on order that are coming in for the 24. There's some coming in for mine. And those shows are great for us because not only do we get to meet with you guys, but we get to forge some new connections. We get to really talk with those vendors and think about some things outside of the box that we haven't thought about putting on our Jeeps yet. So some really exciting things coming up from that show, and to all of our vendors, to all of our fans and our friends that we got to see there. Huge shout out to you. We can't wait for next year for show season to meet with all of you. It's going to be even bigger and better with both of these Jeeps sitting behind me. On today's viewer rig of the video, we are checking out Bubba's 2016 two-door JK Sport with a 6-speed manual. So he's got a very good-looking Jeep here. It's almost the first iteration of the Hydro Blue. I love to see a two-door. So this is a good-looking Jeep, and you can tell that he wheels it, and it's got a ton of great photos. He said he's from New Jersey, but I think some of those are way out west. It looks like almost out in Arizona or somewhere in the Midwest. Really good-looking Jeep. Now, Bubba on his, he's got 140,000 miles. It's his daily, and he just road tripped from from PA to Moab and back with that Jeep. Leveling kit and sway bar disconnects, and he is having an absolute blast with that. So this goes to show you guys, you don't need to completely lift your Jeep and go crazy with bead locks and the whole rest of it. You can go and have a great time just with an almost stock two-door Sport. He said soon to be replaced by a 2024 Bikini whenever it comes in. So that's going to be sick. And obviously, Bubba, that's going to be a great replacement. So thank you for sending us that and all the great photos. We really appreciate it. If you guys want to have your Jeep featured in our viewer rig of the video, be sure to hit us up through our email or send us a DM on our Instagram. Now overall though, guys, we got some exciting news. AEV with their upfits, that's going to be awesome. The product quality over there at AEV and everything that they stand to offer and hold true to themselves, that's going to be a great addition to the Jeep lineup, especially as a factory ordered option. The new Mopar Lift is great, and I'm excited almost to check one of those out in person and see what those new shocks actually look like. Gladiator, let's see if it comes out. Fingers crossed it comes out soon, even with a new engine or something underneath the hood, or maybe some axle upgrades. I'd love to see what they have in store for that for us. Big plans for the 2024 and even some more for the old girl behind me, the 2022. We can upgrade and refresh that a little bit as we go along here. But I really enjoy you guys being around, and thank you so much for supporting us. We've been growing like crazy, and for those of you that don't subscribe, it's a free way for you to help support the channel and really just help us grow and help more Jeep people. Till next time though, my name is Matt with Dirt Road Cred, and I want you to get out there and earn yours.